So mind your P's and Q's.
Yes.
Not that you go off the rails.
Who goes off the rails?
Me mostly, and
Yeah.
Necro.
Anyways,
Welcome back to session 29 of Into the Unknown with GM Jeremy. Jeremy, take it away.
Lightning crashes. We are in the chapter of Into the Unknown of the lightning crashes. I'm glad that you're all here. Our party has been, accumulating some XP and some goodies. They've grown in strength and power. A little bit more purpose. They're thinking about, the future. And the future's come to them. An old friend, the Manticore, has Show the Manticore, not a griffin, but a Manticore. What was it? You were calling it a griffin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody corrected me.
But he has brought news of changes in the short week that you've been gone. It seems that Sarabella, Princess Sarabella Fina, has usurped some power, maybe? I don't know. She set herself up as almost a priestess. And has gathered power, renowned wisdom and honor for her acts of kindness towards the community after the Civil War. Her leading fellow Grove members to almost start to worship the tree and pay homage to the tree and indirectly to Sarabella, it seems, as she has been leading prayers and meditations at and to the tree. The Council of Elders, one for each season, so 4 elders, have let this go, allowing Sarabella to gather her influence and to gather support for the tree. So the 4 seasons in question is Rayhorn for the winter. She did help Faryan in the Civil War, but after conversations, found that she was also somewhat led astray and not fully understanding what was going on. But still has some loyalty to Faryan, the evil druid who tried to start the Civil War, did start a small Civil War, tried to take power for herself and for the god of destruction. Rayhorn represents the Winter Court. And then Gorman is going to be for the Autumn, Waldruff for the Summer, and Staller. I don't know if how do you pronounce his name? Stalfer. There we go. I need to make it bigger. I can't see that. Make my screen smaller. Too many things going on. Let's see. How do you pronounce his name? Statler. There we go.
It's Waldorf.
Waldorf is Waldorf and Statler. They are summer and spring.
Ah.
And Gorman is autumn. Gorman was the leader of the hunter group. He always stayed. He always stayed at the grove. Never went out on hunts. He was always there to make sure that the grove was safe. The quote-unquote brothers, Waldorf and Statler, they're not the funnest guys to hang out with. They pick on everybody and stuff. But they are all men of wisdom, and they're opposite sides of the coin. One's more of a trickster, while one's more direct and punishing. They're going to be part of the council. All these members basically have about the same amount of renown and strength among the community. But it seems that Sarabella has been getting renown from different individuals for her contributions to the city, the grove, shall we say. Grimp, the blacksmith, doesn't know much about Sarabella. He really doesn't care much for religion. He's a straightforward kind of guy. Give him metal and he'll craft you something. And such. But what he does know is that she has been gathering power. So that's what he's been able to see. Denathi Wan, your teacher, has come back to the city. The Grove. He said he left. He exiled himself mainly. He was running away to make sure that he didn't get killed or used against anybody else to be influenced. And that's how he ran into the Manticore. He was going to use that as a base of operations to spy on the Grove, and ran into the Manticore, and well, things happened. The Manticore was then taken to the Grove to be healed. His wounds were so severe that the tree was going to make him a warden to help heal him. But Sarabella had influenced the tree to make him more like the Timberwolf, a servant of the tree, and possibly a servant to her. The Manticore, in his wisdom, chose free will and the right to be a warden. Because of that, the spirit of pain and anguish that had been poisoning the Manticore was also released and became an entity in it of itself. The tree put this tree dragon, basically a small spirit of anguish and nature, was taken into the tree and put into basically like a sleep. Grimp says it was going to go. Well, the Manticore said, excuse me, not Grimp. He says that the Well of Souls was basically all he heard. So, something that the tree has. He doesn't really know. Doesn't really care. Oh, excuse me. That was the Manticore. So he doesn't really know. All he knows is that it was called the Well of Souls. But he didn't ask questions, and nobody expanded it upon that. Alrighty. Kellum has gathered his supplies in the wagon. He's told you I'm going back home. We're going to deal with this. Or at least I am. When he turns around, Necra has nowhere to be seen. We can assume that she's either following or, well, no, she's probably already kicked these stones down the stairs and followed them down the stairs. Oh no, I kicked the stones down the stairs. Maybe I should go see what they do. What's down here? Anyhow, Necra's not one to stick around and, not do something. So Necra's also gone, probably.
Blazing the trail.
And blazing the trail, looking ahead. Like, okay, now we got a wagon. Let me make sure that, Kellum can make it through with the wagon. All right, I know what I got to do. And now go and do it. Kellum with his strength, takes the wagon, and Ashra and Manthor are going, oh, yeah, we were going. Okay, right now. All right, okay. And you gather your things quickly. Manthor, you look back at your painting on the wall, and you're like, yeah, we really would have wished he would have just pulled one of these off. Anyhow, you look back at all the work you've done at the windmill, and you're like, oh, wow, some more gold coins. You find 15 gold coins and a potion that you have yet to identify whenever the game master gets around to it. Or you insist and identify it. And Ashra, who's got the dagger?
Which?
You mean the one for Cerebella?
No. Excuse me. That is okay. That is Western.
Yeah.
He has the dagger. But the other dagger that you've just acquired, Ashra has that.
Yep.
Okay. As you spend some time with the dagger, you can hear a guttural voice of a male whispering in the background. Can't hear what they're saying, but you can just hear it's coming from the dagger. After a while, you're like, oh, that's where that's coming from. Okay, I hear it now. What is it saying? You don't know yet, but it is whispering. Maybe to you, since you have possession of it, it's whispering to you. You just can't hear what the words are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do y'all have any questions before I pull Zorn to the side? Do you want to ask Grimp or Marceau, the Manicore, anything? And Marceau will say that his name means many teeth, and he'll, open his mouth, and he has 5 rows of teeth, like a shark has and such. And he's like, I've got an extra row here and such. So
I'd like to clarify something. You mentioned somewhere along the line where the Manticore was being turned into the Warden, that he chose free will over something else. Could you clarify that?
Yeah, so choosing free will of being the Warden, of remaining himself, over being made into a guardian creature that would not have had free will. He said he would have been much stronger, but that was yeah, he was saying that it wasn't optimal for what his situation was. He wanted to take care of his child and wanted to see his child, to live and become strong.
Mm-hmm.
So he chose to have more of a free will than to be bound to the tree and shenanigans and such. But go ahead.
When he talks about it in that way, Kellen will continue to insist that you were not given a choice of free will. You were told become a enslaved creature or become a servant. There's no free will choice there. Free will would have been letting you just go.
Yeah, I don't know the exacts. I really were talking more over my head, metaphysical or spiritual stuff, but my wife, she would have known or maybe cared more. But well, I mean, so chronologically, he just the tree, the dryad, she Jade, yeah, she said that. I remember saying, she was going to make, part of it. The agreement was that I could be a warden, or was going to be a warden, and stuff because I was so badly damaged. But then Sarabella came over and demanded that I be a guardian, and that I would be much stronger and such. She tried to convince me to do such, but I saw the Timberwolf, and he had no mind of his own. So I became a warden instead.
You made the right choice.
And they came up with a bright idea of, well, I don't know. Somebody suggested that we go see you, and I volunteered quickly. So I had to leave the young one behind, but I left him with Denathi. He said he would make sure that she was safe. And I left him with a tree and Jade. And Jade was, well, she's odd, but she's definitely motherly-like. So. I believe she's in good hands. I trust them. Denathi could have left me for dead. So, yeah. I trusted you guys. I hope I'm a good judge of character, right?
The only question I have is about Sarabella at this point. Perhaps a little bit of Jade.
Well, Grimp does come forward and say, when Denathi found that I was going to come as well, and he did pull me to the side and talk to me to warn you that Sarabella is, possibly
Gone bad with power.
Yeah. He says that she seems a lot darker since he's been away. Since this all started a week ago, going on 5 days, I guess now. For him, he came back 5 days, a couple days ago. So. He noticed the change where some others, I guess, have not, or just it's been natural. So part of the healing of this, part of the healing of the Civil War.
Let's get to the Grove and see if we can't put an end to this nonsense.
Does anybody else have any questions of those two before I pull Zorn to the side?
Mm-mm.
No.
Good.
Any mechanics? Anything to identify, or I mean, we can get into some other stuff, but if anything you need to know right now, if y'all want to have a conversation. Hopefully it won't take too long. We'll figure out how to bring Zorn in smoothly. I have a few ideas for him, and he may have a few ideas by now. Let's see. There you go.
Did you say we found a potion that we don't know
Yes.
So I
of?
sound like I found it while I was cleaning stuff out. So I'll probably just identify it on the way while we're already on our way.
Right. It's not going to be anything special. I'm just going to roll a random potion, so something like that. What am I doing? Oh, I'm going to do it over here. Go on. Oh, there we go. All right, see ya.
While they're talking, I gotta check in on the little one real quick. I'll be right back.
So, Callum will share with the rest of you, and we'll bring Banthor up to speed when he gets back. Callum wants to get there, remove Cerebella from power by whatever means is necessary. If she can talk down, great. But it seems her influence over the tree has become not benevolent in any way. And Callum believes that those of us that are serving the tree in a direct way like this, we get benefits from the tree and everything, we should hold no power in the village of any kind. Because it gives us too much influence over what the village does or what the grove does. So we should have no political influence. And there should be no forced conscription like what happened to our Manticore friend. I almost said Griffin again. I think also, depending on how many servants of the tree are there now, if the village or anybody in the grove is going to come and seek guidance from the servants of the tree, we should have at least 3 there at all times. And if that way all 3 can commune with the tree and there's no one person's will being done, because like when we left, the only person that could actually commune with the tree the same way we do was Cerebella. Tree could have been saying one thing, but she says something else to increase her power. So having 3 people there with that ability prevents one singular person from gathering up power that they shouldn't have.
Ernie, I'm back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Kellum is proposing to the group essentially a rule of 3. Always have 3 servants of the tree at position at the tree to commune with it, to make sure that nobody is twisting the tree's will, they all agree on what should be done. And also a complete separation of the tree, of the direct servants of the tree and the political system of the grove. No one that has benefits or powers from the tree should have any position of power in the village or the council or anywhere else.
I definitely agree with that. Banthor would agree with that, and as well as he is not happy about what the Manticore, their quote unquote choice
Mhm.
between being a warden or essentially a thrall. So the fact that Sarabella suggested that or even encouraged it, I'm not happy
Yeah.
with her at the moment. I definitely would agree. Yeah, have three people around the tree for make sure it doesn't get influenced poorly.
Well, and since she never quite left reach, happened to find, well, here out of the brush. Yeah, though maybe the tree couldn't actually heal Marshall without something in return. But still, that's an awful lot of.
Well, if that is the case, Cerebella should not have advocated for wiping his sentience and turning Marceau into a puppet of the tree, essentially.
Hmm.
And while I could see that potentially being the case, Marceau and the blacksmith, neither one mentioned anything about him being healed and becoming a warden or a guardian, or a creature guardian, as being the payment for that. It was just every indication is like, no, we're going to heal you, and you're going to be one of these two things.
The non-choice. Yes, I agree. The non-choice was you become a warden and we heal and you get healed, or you become a guardian, a mindless drone, and you get used anyway.
Yeah.
If the choice was more of, well, I'll heal you and you become a guardian, or we let you go and you fend on your own, that would have been a more freeing choice.
Yeah.
She should have not overstepped her bounds.
True.
The tree is still young, as far as what we can tell. It is still gathering its senses. Sarabella herself is still young and very influential. I feel that there's still something wrong. Something is still trying to influence her. And through her, is trying to influence the tree. I want to get to the bottom of this. And if removing cerebellum as a warden is what needs to be done, then that's what needs to be done.
Well, I do agree with that statement. I would prefer if we're able to kind of push her back from the edge, pull her back a little bit.
I want to. That is my ultimate goal. I want to pull her back. I want to make sure that her mind is not clouded.
Then may I propose a course of action for when we arrive? I think that perhaps we should split the party a bit. You, Ashura, and Banthor, go speak with Sarabella. I have no interest in speaking with her. What I've heard, I have no interest in speaking with her. But y'all go try and talk to her down. I will go with. Daggone, what is your character's name?
Necra.
Is it Necra? Okay. You use different characters. I will go with Necra to the rest of the village, and if we're all in agreement, I'll explain to them that we are servants of the tree. We relinquish all political power within the political structure of the village. They can still come to members of the servants of the tree for guidance, for communion with the tree, as long as there's 3 of us there. If there are not 3 of us, then there's no guidance to be offered, because there must be 3 to make sure that the tree's wisdom is imparted correctly. Otherwise, we must remove ourselves from the political natures and actions of the village, so that not any of us becomes too powerful or power hungry, since we do have extra abilities granted by the tree.
I do agree with that sentiment, though I fear that it may not help us persuade Cerebella to, step back from that ledge. That might, should we wait on that until we're able to talk with Cerebella first?
I think we need to keep Cerebella separated from the people, because if they are, as Marceau and Blacksmith have said, they're starting to generate a religion and worshiping the tree, or probably Cerebella, the tree as a proxy. She would try and use them to prevent you from talking her down. So we need to remove her support system so that she can realize that what she did was wrong. If they're not coming to her aid, if they're recognizing, oh yeah, right, there was one person with power, both physical power and political power, and look what we did. I think that will possibly make your job easier. Or if we're just doing it at the same time, like she doesn't know that Necra and I are talking to the village while you are talking to her, and do both at the same time.
That's a compelling argument. I'm for it. Now I would suggest we should probably get on the same page with the Manticore, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Marceau, I think.
Yes, Marceau. If there are now 5 wardens, from what I recall, perhaps having 3 that agree on this new system would help solidify it. If we had one more warden, 3 out of 5, who agree with it, that might give it more weight with the people when we suggest it.
Yeah. And this, going forward, this has to be the last time we use our influence in such a way that affects what the people of the village do. Like we got involved in the Civil War. We put Cerebella there, kind of in a, to continue to lead the Grove in a certain way, and that has totally backfired. I mean, it could have happened to any one of us potentially, just being there alone with that kind of power. So while we're now using that same power, we're proposing removing from ourselves. This has to be that last time that we use that kind of influence. And from this point forward, we only offer it when we're asked directly, and there are 3 of us that communes with the tree to make sure we are speaking with a unified voice. At least 3 of us. It could be more, but minimum it has to be 3.
Regan, it's foolish of me to leave Cerebella there. I could tell what the power of the wardens was doing to her, and I just let her stay with no one else to look after her.
You weren't the only one that had concerns about Cerebella and her having this power.
Well, we all had concerns.
We all could see it, but we made a choice.
I mean, if we're going to start laying blame, the majority of that blame comes down on me because I didn't say a thing, and I'm the one that usually will just outright. Well, you saw what I did with the automaton. Perhaps I restrained myself too much in this case.
We live and we learn.
Well, what's important is that we're all now trying to right the mistakes of the past, and I'm just glad I don't have to do this alone.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. I guess that's... We're all in agreement. Now we got to inform the GM.
Yeah.
GM,
And of course,
it's a party split.
Get ready. You're gonna have to bounce back and forth.
Yep.
That's the
At least
thing.
we're all in the same locations.
I mean,
yeah, we're
hey,
not that far apart.
At least,
No,
at
no.
least that's the thing. We're not that. We're gonna split off 2 and 2, and he's trying to introduce a new player, new character.
Yep. Such timing. Anyways, and of course, as the discussion's going on, there's these little markings. I'm sure everyone's learned at least the pattern of them by now. Just this way is clear. This is only what, the third, fourth time? No, more likely third than fourth. The ranger bit actually is being used proper.
He came in as a ranger hunter. Wow.
Yep.
It's just rare to see someone play the hunter class, silk class. Nothing is. Hey, I played hunter at home, so I'm just saying. I have no issues with it. As far as like our traveling is going, Ashra has kind of been quiet. Mostly, her head has been in her book. She's been deep in studying.
And I've been looking for plants. I think I'm going to look for something that could serve as like an oil for the cart, make it a little easier to pull. There's a lot of stuff on that cart.
Also, Caleb, I hope you don't mind Ashra is sitting in the cart while you're pulling it.
Well, as long as you don't mind a few rusty swords sticking in.
That's fine. Because per DM, he's like, if you study in the book the whole time you're traveling back, you can get your level up. So
Whip up a potion of tetanus shot for you.
Yes. Which is part of why Necra's actually doing the scouting the way.
Alrighty. Did y'all have much conversation, or y'all just chatted?
We did. It's going to be a party split.
Uh-oh.
We're all
Not
upset each
again.
other. It's a 4-way party split. We all have different ideas about how to go about this. We couldn't come to an agreement.
There was no agreement. When we get back to the village, we're all going our separate ways.
It's going to be
Oh, man.
a 4-sided civil war.
All right.
And, I want to re-roll my character.
We're not
I'm kidding.
that bad. No,
I'm kidding.
no, it's only a 2-way thing. But
Yeah. 2-way, but we're actually all on the same page.
We're on the same page, but we're divided and conquering. So.
Okay. All right.
though there were plans and preparations, like, are we passing anything like a hemlock on the way?
What are you looking for in particular? Like a hemlock tree?
leaves.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, a few leaves, a couple twigs,
Gonna
a barrier
make a
free.
potion. You gonna make a potion on the way?
Something.
I'm certain that with the two of you, that being Banthor and Necra, and even Astra, not to put any disparity towards her, him, her, they, them,
Her.
her. Okay. I'm sure that you could find a hemlock tree. With everything you're looking for, it's kind of a hot time of year. So, yeah, everything is in bloom.
Okay.
So I brought up the map to kind of, show y'all what, area you're going. You're at the ruins. You cross over the river quickly. There's a ford that you can go easily across. And basically, you're just on the other side of the river. And you're walking and you're making your decisions to go do what?
So, Banthor and Ashura are going to go speak with Cerebella, try to talk with her, get an idea of where her mindset is, and talk her back from the ledge, as it were. At the exact same time, Kellum and Necra are going to go talk to village people and explain to them how those of us that are actual servants of the tree, now we know we got the druids that kind of commune with the tree, which is where Banthor originated from, but those of us that have actually been chosen by the tree, so we're direct servants, we receive some kind of power, we have a more innate communion with the tree. We are removing ourselves from any political influence over the village and the people. It is not a religion. We are servants of the tree, nothing more. They can still seek guidance from the tree through the servants if there's at least 3 of us there, so that all 3 of them can commune with the tree and be of one mind when delivering the tree's guidance. No longer will there be one person interpreting for the tree. It must be 3. If there's not 3 of us there, then there will be no guidance given by us to the people. They'll have to use their old methods with the druids and everything. But from this point forward, we relinquish all titles, all power. We have nothing to do with the political or the council or anything of the Grove. And so we're trying to do both of those things at the same time.
If you had a title to give yourself, what would that be?
We're servants of the tree.
All right. Okay. That's what I was looking for.
But that's not a
All right.
title within the village's political spectrum. There's no power with that title.
It's not. It's not. I'm just just trying to get a vibe, basically.
Yeah.
If you were going to call yourself anything or blah, we're servants of the tree. Not saying that you're taking yourself out of the grove. Basically, is what I was trying to.
Yeah, no, we'll still be in the grove. We'll still go off, do whatever the thing the tree wants us to do. But as far as the grove, we got to decide if we're going to dig a new well or not. don't ask us. We're not part of your political system. Oh, we're going to judge this guy for having done murders. Like, yeah, we're not involved in that at all. We're no longer part of your political system. Because
we want. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to mention this plan that we're formulating to tell the villagers. We also want to convey and try to convince the Manticore of that as well. So we've kind of got like a 3 to 5 vote sort of between the wardens. So it holds a little bit more weight when we eventually tell Parabella about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you're talking about this on your travel, to home and such, Marshall is very supportive of this. He had very similar, they didn't have a political system per se in his enclave. It was just, somebody brought something to the enclave, and if it was important, they took care of it. There wasn't any political, oh, I don't think we should do this, or blah, blah, blah. It was like, oh, that's what needs to be done, and you just did that. And then, we did what we did as families, and we came together when we needed help, or if there was a problem, or if, mainly if there was a problem. Something needed to be done, more so than a problem. So it seems you have some kind of political system set up in the Grove. Wasn't there long enough to really understand it much.
There's the Council of the Four Seasons, and their elders, and we have this. There's a renowned system where the more renowned tokens you have, it lends more weight to your arguments. Something that Cerebella seems to be trying to collect a lot of.
And Grimp says, yes, if more individuals with renowned come together and make a case together, it only takes a few of them to outweigh multitude of the average Grove individual. Those on the council have over 24 pieces of renown. And the average person in the Grove maybe has 3 or 5. So just in a short time, you've picked up those. So mainly adventurers or guards or those who have power, like the druids, that pick up renown and then are given power with their voice. Just a blacksmith, so, I don't have much renown. I haven't built many glorious pieces of weaponry or anything. Just banging out nails most of the time. So I don't have much of a voice.
Kellum is biting his tongue right now. Because he wants to say something, but it's like, we're not supposed to. We have one more act to use our influence on, and then that's it.
Actually, note drops at the next little sign. You've made something. There's a couple things that are kind of special. And just keep going.
Kellum's renown tokens will find their way into the blacksmith's path.
Do y'all want to camp for the night, or just go on through the night and make the grove in the morning, basically? Or well, excuse me. If you, it would be the middle of the night, like 3 or so, basically, when you would arrive. If you go on through the night. Of course, it'd be more dangerous, but you would arrive at that time.
Well, I guess we have to camp since you said something more dangerous.
I prefer not to stop.
Yeah, same here. I prefer not to stop too, but he said more dangerous.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I don't want to have an encounter before we get to the grove.
Yeah. So thematically, it's going to make it more dangerous.
Okay, we'll push on.
All right. So, braving the dangers of the night, you push on through to make your way to the grove, knowing that the importance of your mission is more important than just a possible scuffle. You do feel that you're being followed. It seems part way through the night as you get closer to the grove. Let's see. I'm gonna look at your characters real quick. Okay. Necra. Necra. Alrighty. Give me a second here.
This is what she's made for.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, Necra, you have a sense that somebody was following you. A singular person.
Alright. And
they're doing a pretty good job of it. Just, yeah.
I know
not a great job of it. So they have some skill, but because nobody else has really noticed, you can tell. Everybody else is just, continuing on the march or chatting away or trying to hear the whispers of a dagger.
Alright, and I need to double check that. So, mostly curiosity at this point. Who would be the least likely to be distracted or, busy, basically?
In the group, Kellum is just pulling the wagon. Astra is probably a little distracted. Sitting on the wagon.
Head in the book.
Reading a book. That's right. Banthor has a decent perception. So
herbs.
Yeah, Banthor would be. Banthor does a half and half. Looks for herbs and kind of keeps his eye. Keeps his attention on the group and Astra and things like that. So eventually, Banthor will look up and make, if not eye contact, will at least look at everybody, or look at the group, look around, and things like that. Where Kellum, so you can get Kellum's attention because y'all have hunted together, so certain calls or things like that. So it just depends on how you want to do that.
All right. then I would. As soon as I realize we're being followed, use. Basically make the. Well, whatever call, do the symbol, whatever thing. About. To. Basically. We're being hunted.
Ah, okay. All right.
Predator prey thing, not. As far as I know, let's
Yeah.
want to change
I mean,
that.
that's definitely a good, easy call, and stuff.
Mhm.
Give me a sleight of hand or performance, or or animal handling. I'm trying to get a way you can do this, because you're trying to do it somewhat surreptitiously. Survival. Let's do survival. You got that? Yeah. Let's do survival.
Yeah, well,
We'll do survival. So you can, roll survival to see how natural you can convey this message without it being, like obvious, such. So you can roll with advantage because,
first one
because
was a
it's the technique. I need to.
I think I would like to take the second one.
I got a 16 and I guess it's coming through slow.
No, the
It's a 10 and a
first one
16.
did not.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Okay. So Kellum, as you're pulling the wagon along, Necro makes a call, as part of your hunting procedures and such, and basically says, that somebody is stalking you or something is stalking you, the group.
Okay. Kellen will stop the cart, wipe his brow, as if he was sweating, and call over to Banthor. It's your turn to pull the cart a little bit. And as he hands the handles off to Banthor, he goes into the cart, pulls out his bagpipes. Necro, seeing this, already knows what to do. I don't even have to, just... And as Banthor begins pulling, Kellum will walk behind the cart, playing the bagpipes.
Zorn, they have pulled out a weapon of you don't know. This thing it's the weirdest thing you've ever heard. And they're walking along playing these bagpipes in the middle of the freaking night as you are stalking these elvish creatures, you believe. You know that everything and anything in the forest will either run, well, it's going to run. It just depends on which direction. You think they're mad, and they're employing some, wicked magic or something. You just don't know. The wailing of this is beyond imagine. What are you gonna do, Zorn?
Zorn is going to take very precise aim at
Bagpipe?
at the bladder making the noise and try to puncture it with an arrow.
All right. Give me a shot with advantage.
There's a 24 and and 17. I'll keep the 24.
Alrighty. With precision, an arrow comes flying out of the forest, and the bagpipes are no more.
Most unfortunate.
That's okay. I have needle and thread, but more importantly, Necra now knows where the stalker is.
Yes.
And out of the darkness, a blade comes to your throat, Zorn. Is it the katana or your short sword?
Yeah, I think it'd be the short sword. And
Okay.
what do I see?
Yes, describe your character, Zorn.
Come on now, where are you? Just a what else? Slightly, just a little short, pretty fairly pale. Looks like he has not bathed in a few days, but for some reason he does not smell like it. Brown eyes, long straight hair.
What type of weaponry or
breastplate and
yeah? Go ahead.
yeah, clockwork-looking breastplate. A very large longbow in hand with the quiver of arrows on his hip and a rapier on the other side.
Okay. And what's the lighting conditions?
Oh, it is pitch black. There is the moon is a crescent moon, so there's a little bit of light from that, and of course there's starlight, and such. But we are, definitely dark, and so that's why Zorn. This came out of nowhere. You're like, well, how the heck did this sword get at my throat? 1 minute, you kind of had your eye on Necro, and then the bagpipes, just what the heck were the bagpipes? So you had to put it out of its misery, and then there's a sword at my throat? Okay. It's a very nice sword, the short sword. You could tell that it is well taken care of or very sharp. May even have some magical qualities, as you have a very good look at it from your vantage point.
Yes.
It is probably dwarven made, but it's very nice sword.
All right.
Let's see. One thing about Zorn. Zorn has, the look of a mature elf, but is a little bit short in stature, and also, in a way, very androgynous. Not exactly by dress or anything, but just doesn't really have any male or female qualities.
So, Bashona.
Yeah, Zorn doesn't look like he's gone through puberty.
Well, okay.
But you could tell by the small creases in his eyes here and there that he does have some age.
Okay. All right, and so figuring Elvish hasn't changed much anywhere else. Hello? Who are you, and what are you doing in this section of the wood?
He replies in a strange elf accent in Elvish. What were you torturing to make that noise?
Nothing.
It comes across kind of broken, and you get part of the sentence, and it takes you a moment to put it all together. Oh, wait a second. He's asking about the bagpipes, and such.
All right. And
His
then,
dialect and word usage, and also sentence structure takes a little bit getting used to. It's almost like he's speaking Spanish like backwards. So you're like, oh, wait a second. He put the sentence, the object over here, and then the verb over there. Okay. Oh, that's what he said. All right, continue.
okay, so a fair bit more like listening to someone who speaks German primarily. Yes. Alright, switching to common and being louder. Nothing. That was actually to flush you out. Now, why are you here? And who are you?
Would you know common? Or do you think you would only know the Elvish?
He would not understand. He wouldn't really understand.
So he doesn't.
He
So he
would
doesn't
respond
understand
in
the
an
common.
incredibly broken common search for settlement.
Alright. And since given my subclasses like visibility is nil, and switch to Sylvan. And can you understand this better?
And he's stuttering a little now. Yes. Thank you.
Alright.
Could you? Sorry, don't mean any harm.
So, who are you, and what settlement were you looking for?
I am Zorn. I was a guard for, and he spouts off a name that you've never heard of.
No.
Far to the east. I have heard that there is a tree that has grown up from nothing and has gained power. That may be influenced by my quest.
Alright. And the blade disappears. Of course, I'm a Gloomstalker, so I'm, not visible.
Well, I think if you were, right there proximity and you're engaged with an individual, you are visible, and stuff.
All
but
right,
if you're stalking, that part is the, where you're invisible and such. So you would have to, break eye contact, with your quarry after you've engaged, to hide again, basically,
Alright,
they'd have to lose eye contact. So you'd have to hide again, basically, go around the corner and boom, and then you're, the quarry can no longer see you. I think the only person that can see you is Ashra.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So let's have this discussion and gesture to the cart.
I gather, tell him that you probably, have been taking the arrow out of that, or you just put that to the side real quick and.
No, I've already sewn up the bagpipes. They're ready to go again.
Okay. All right. Banthor, were you saying something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, as soon as I heard them mention the tree, I cast Detect Thoughts on them.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Okay. So he mentioned, looking for the tree and his quest. Zorn, would you like to? Actually, could you VTT that spell so I know exactly before I say what I'm going to say?
Sure. Where you at? Oh, it's the second level, isn't it? Yep. If I can. That work? Yeah.
Well, that was just that. There's a way to do the explanation of it?
Yeah, I thought I usually just... No, there we go. Just plain VTT.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay. Read the thoughts. When you cast a spell... Yeah, I think he's got higher than a 3 intelligence. So you learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what's most on its mind at that moment. So give a basic description of what your quest is. Just like a 1-sentence kind of, or as small as you want to. But you need to kind of give the essence of what your quest is. As that flashed through your mind as you were, talking about the tree and your quest.
Right. The holy jewel of my religion has been stolen, and the tree gaining sentience and power reminds me of the old legend of the jewel's effect.
Okay.
So that's the initial. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature, or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, then they make a saving throw, and we go from there and stuff like that. Either way, the target knows that you are probing into its mind. And unless you shift attention to another creature's thought, the creature can use its action on its turn to make a check to contest. So,
I hate to break it. Ashra was actually. I was going to do the same thing. Banthor beat me to it. Ashra was also good.
So if you were going to do the same thing, let's go ahead and do that. So both of y'all whoop into the mind, and both of y'all get that initial thought. Also roll intelligence, the both of you. Not a saving throw, just the attribute or whatever.
Plain intelligence.
Just plain intelligence. Banthor of an 18. And Ashra of a 7. Banthor, you recognize that Ashura is here as well, doing the same thing that you're doing. Ashra, you do not. Though, Ashra, what's your... Nah, you didn't pick that up either. Okay, yeah. Ashra, you're oblivious to the fact that Banthor is doing the same thing. But Banthor, that is that Ashra is also doing this as well.
Telepathically say to Ashra really quick, I'm probing as well. Let's determine if they're a threat.
And she gives a nod. It's like a slight nod to him.
All right. So you'll want to probe deeper?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. So how does that go?
They make a
Uh,
wisdom save against our DCs.
Okay. So who has the highest DC?
I have a 15.
I have a 14.
All right. So, okay. Zorn, give me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay, that's one. Ah, man.
Yeah. 20 and 10.
Alrighty. Okay. So we're going with the 10 here. So you are probing to see if whether or not you can trust this guy. Is that what you said? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they? Do they wish harm upon the tree? That kind of deal? Are they? A
Oh,
threat?
okay. Gotcha. That's right. Whether or not they oppose a threat. Okay. All right.
Are they a threat to
Um,
us, to the tree? Like, are they an immediate threat to us now? Are they a threat to the tree? And like, what is their intentions?
Gotcha. Okay. So as you probe deeper, you can see the anguish that he's gone through recently. Seems some giant creatures came in and stole this artifact. And he's come across the mountains to the east in search of the grove because he heard stories. And he's ran across Blue Fangs and the sumac on the way, though he's kept to himself. And he started following y'all as y'all got closer to where he was getting closer to, and assumed that y'all were going to go to the grove. And his curiosity, he got too close. And, he doesn't seem to, have any ill intention towards you or the grove. He hates with a passion giants.
Okay. So, as I'm getting the information and gesturing to the cart, is there any change of expression or
Zorn,
anything?
you let's see. You know that somebody is in your mind. Open your mind. And they have done a deep dive, and they've basically watched, a segment, of your approach and your general feeling towards, them and the grove and such, which has mostly been curiosity, but they've seen, what you've kind of experienced, it seems. And you can make a intelligence check to contest. If you succeed, then you're able to break one of the spells and such. So there's two of them. So it's going to be hard for you to contest this. That's the first part of this. What do you want to do, Zorn? As you're walking back as you're being escorted towards the group, Kellum has finished putting his bagpipe back together, and you are being gazed at quite forcefully by Banthor and Ashra. Let's change. Let's give Zorn the courtesy, and Banthor, would you mind describing what your character looks like and kind of their? You're looking intently at Zorn as he is being escorted out of the trees and towards the cart.
Yeah, I'm a wood elf. I've got copper skin and greenish hair, kind of dark green. I am in just common clothes, no armor, anything like that. I don a shield which has a picture of a tree on it. It is quite damaged, and I have a single earring. Kind of gives off a bit of a glow as I'm using my magic. About, I want to say it was 5'11"-ish, and about 140 pounds. So not super big or anything, but I am lean. I have a bit of lean muscle on me.
How are you looking? Because you're keeping eye contact. Well, not eye contact, eye to eye so much. It doesn't have to be, but you're looking at Zorn with this new bit of information as they're coming out of the trees and such. How are you? What is your gaze like at Zorn? Because Zorn knows you and Ashura or in his mind, so he's going to be looking up at you. How are you? What's your demeanor like, basically? What's your vibe?
Definitely caution. Kind of poised in a way that I'm ready to attack if needed, but at the same time, kind of have a little bit softer features, like I'm sussing you out. Kind of look.
Not so aggressive, but definitely not at ease. Okay. Ashura, describe your character.
Ashura, well, she's still sitting on the cart, so you can't really tell her height right now. But pale. She's got pale skin. Currently in grayish robes, long silver hair, ice blue eyes, staring at you, not intensely, but first staring at you intensely as you come out. Gives you the up and down, and you can see she's clutching a book in her arms. Yeah, that's about it.
Would you, Necro, like to describe your character for us?
Alright, so I'm presuming I finally stepped out into the moonlight or whatever.
Right.
Something more visible. Okay. So younger, like not quite properly adult Shadarkai, pale gray skin, black hair, red eyes, a little on the shorter side, thinner but muscular. Generally greens, browns, and grays as far as clothing, and a cloak that kinda is as much part of the shadow as she was at this point. Wearing half-plate armor. And some fairly nice bow. Not to hand exactly, but you can see the scroll work on it. With scimitar to either side. Well taken care of, but not old, just kind of. I think that's about it.
One thing, Zorn, that you notice about Necro
Mhm.
is that she looks exactly like a younger version of one of the priests at your old colony. It's a very striking similarity. Just younger. Zorn does kind of look at you oddly, out of everybody. Not just because you come out of the shadows, but looking at your face oddly. While this is happening, Kellum, would you like to describe your character and what you're doing?
Kellum is heading back towards the front of the cart to pick it up. And it is full of, the cart's full of all kinds of things, so the fact that he's able to pick up the front end and start pulling it indicates his strength. He's a little over 6 foot tall, dark elf, medium length hair, and all black armor with several weapons on his body as well.
He said,
Yeah,
"I am strong, man."
Everybody else
His
is
armor's-
I'm thin, I'm small. He's picking up the cart, he's strong.
Yeah.
Do you have a? Let's see. Yeah, your armor is interesting looking. Isn't it?
I mean, it's painted all black to kind of make it not so interesting
Okay.
looking.
Okay, all right. Yeah, when you get a glimpse of it, his half plate looks real light. Basically, it doesn't look like it's made out of a heavy metal. Basically, so and been painted black, but it doesn't look bulky. Or anything like that. It looks very slimming, so interesting looking, But outside of that, just looks like it's maybe like made out of a thinner metal. Alrighty. So Zorn, what do you do that you have these people in your mind? Did you let's see, do you want to try to force them out, or do you want to talk to them about said?
Zorn can tell where the presence is, in his mind is coming from, and says in Celestial, "Not very friendly, are you?" I understand. And proceeds to ignore them. He goes up to Kellum and says, "Sorry," and says in fairly broken common, "Sorry, I thought you were trying to summon something awful."
I did. You met him or her over there.
And of course,
What is that?
per standard, as soon as no one's looking, up the tree again.
Oh, Asha would have dropped the spell, seeing that he's not a threat, and would have went back to her book.
And
Like, after locking eyes with Banthor, and like kind of getting the same, like, he's okay for now kind of look, like that exchange, she'd go back to her book.
I'm not convinced, so I'm going to keep mine up.
yeah,
About this time, the Manicore comes back. He's been doing a flying patrol. He doesn't like to walk in in the woods at night. He just says it creeps him out, so he'd rather fly around. And he shows up. A manicore lands among the midst of you, Zorn. Zorn, excuse me, the manicore looks at you, Zorn, and kind of looks at, you're all kind of walking, I guess, or at least started walking again. And he said, I saw you stop. Who's this? He kind of growls at you a little bit, Zorn. Nobody really raises an eyebrow that a manicore is just dropped in the midst of you, Zorn. But yeah,
He hasn't given us his name yet.
He has an interest in the tree.
Apparently, he's been stalking us, trying to get back to the tree, the grove. Ashra says, with her head still down in the book.
He's a good shot with the bow, though. Put a hole right through my bagpipes.
oh, well, I like him already.
Oh, I do want to say, actually, instead of dropping detect dons, she's going to kind of look like, since it's a 30-foot radius, she's going to kind of, until the spell wears out, kind of see if there's any other minds around us. Not
Gotcha.
us, the current, but any other thoughts, since you can
Gotcha.
do that.
And you said 30 foot?
Yeah, 30-foot radius.
Alright. And how long does it last? Like a minute or 10? Or?
Yeah, it's a minute. It's just 1 minute.
Got it. Okay. Alright. Okay. And then Banthor, you're either going to keep it up. Basically, you're just, are you diving deeper, or are you just reading current surface thoughts?
I'm going to dive deeper again.
Okay. So you can manipulate the questions by talking, or you can try to just find what you're looking for.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to find what I'm looking for.
All right. And what is that?
And so basically want to get a feel for how Zorn views their community. I don't know where they're from, but basically, like, do they have like a pride in its, military strength, or for, its benevolence?
Gotcha.
Trying to get a
Okay.
feel for where is he from? What are their values over there?
Okay. Zorn, are your people xenophobic?
We haven't seen an outsider in at least 10 years.
Yeah, let's say it's been a long time, a lot longer than that. Your history doesn't have much, recent remembrance of, outside influence.
You would be the fourth outsider we've seen in a while. And would have made kind of clear, like, for whatever reason, since I seem to have the most languages of the group, weird, it was like, seem to have the trade tongue and Elvish seem to be distinctly different from where they're from. Where he's from, so... And actually start asking about his interest in the tree.
Side question. I don't mean to cut in right here, but I'm going to anyway. With my detect thoughts kind of going, and you say I'm hearing whispers of the dagger, does my detect thoughts pick up anything from the dagger?
I wasn't thinking about that, but thank you. Yes. We'll get into that in a moment then.
Okay.
Your original was to search the wood, kind of like your
Yeah.
surroundings and such. So,
Yeah. Since
we'll,
he was
we'll like bring it near the end of that, and
Okay.
such. So as
Right,
you're like,
right.
well, I don't feel like there's anything out there, and then you just generally just, oh, wait a second, huh? Oh, okay.
Right, like starting to like spiral it back inwards.
Right. Just as you get calm, like you're not searching,
Mhm.
when your eyes relax, kind of thing. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Because they're not looking out; they're just inward. Let's see. I was gonna have Necra. Give me an intelligence check. History, if you want. But
Okay, that might actually
the same.
work.
Oh, as a button.
Yeah, apparently not as well as I was hoping. Oh, fitting. Well,
You seem to remember somewhere deep in your memory hearing his dialect before, but you don't it wasn't something that you were involved with.
so someone more like either one of the other hunters or someone actually
Further back in your backstory.
Oh, well now.
Ooh, now you piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Piquing something, not so much interest. And so as Necra's like making that realization, she's like switches to not knowing much of anything about actually been trying to teach Primordial to Kellum for a bit.
Mhm.
So in what broken Primordial she been able to that dialect was it the Elvish or the Common?
So it's gonna be the Elvish and such.
Okay.
It's not similar to that. You just know that you remember hearing that dialect. Back in your backstory, you don't remember anybody speaking it to you. And more like somebody else speaking, and you
Yeah.
were nearby. And it only happened once, a couple times. You're like, oh, wait a second. Oh, wait. Somebody else was talking to somebody else.
Yes, that dialect is heard it in the temple.
So do you speak your deep speak? Is that what you're trying to say? Or okay.
No. Actually, she's entirely stopped speaking that. She still has the language, just she will not. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
one of the languages I have is Primordial.
Right.
I'm trying to teach Kellum.
Oh, okay. So in Primordial, you tell Kellum
that I've heard that dialect from the temple, the ship.
How much of that will I understand?
That
Since
is
it's
up
something
to
I'm
you.
still learning.
Give me an intelligence.
Oh, that's gonna be a
or history, whatever is better for you.
I got a 12 on intelligence.
Okay. So you can hear that Necra says in this primordial language that she's heard that before, and you basically get, that she's talking about the place where she came from, you think, or well, no, from that temple. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, heard that before back at the temple. Okay. She kept it pretty simple. So
Yeah. All right.
Back at that place before, so maybe not have temple and stuff like that. So doesn't mean I have a word for that, really.
Calvin will just kind of acknowledge it, and he'll be more aware of this elf's positioning.
Okay.
And
all right. Banthor. Yeah. So you dove deeper into that, to what he thinks about his people. They're not, I guess, per se xenophobic, but they haven't had any contact with anybody in a long time. I guess, Zorn, you had pride in your colony, your people?
He'd say it used to be a very good place before our heart was stolen.
and I had
So
asked about the
Yeah. Go ahead.
what was his interest in the Grove, but that
Okay. So his basic interest in the Grove is to see if they're similar. The stories, he wants to know if his place was what your place is, or is going to be, or was meant to be. So is it like, are they the same thing? Are they operating the same way, or is there similarities? He heard about this place, so go ahead.
It used to be peaceful.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't go out and go on hunts or anything, I don't think, they would go, searching for people to mess with. So they did keep to themselves. So throughout their history, they've kept to themselves.
So between that and not feeling any resistance from them, trying to push me out, I'm going to go ahead and just drop my detect thoughts.
Okay.
Apologies for all of that, but we do have enemies, so we have to be careful about who we choose to trust. My name is Banthor. I kind of reach out a hand.
Zorn does not take the hand, but he does bow at the waist.
I retract my hand, not offended.
And Zorn will say that in my culture it is considered rude to touch people upon first meeting.
Understood. I give a bow back, kind of like sheepishly, like, is this what? Is this okay?
And he announces in slightly broken common, "I am Zorn, a ranger from far to the east. I have been seeking an artifact of magical power that grows, that brings life where there was none. I have heard of your grove, and I wonder if the artifact I'm seeking may have found its way there."
What do you plan on doing once you found this artifact?
He doesn't. It'll take him a long moment to think about that. But if your place has the old artifact and your place is a good place to live, he will see if he can get his people to live there.
So you plan on relocating far from the heat if you find a better place to live. Yeah, I cannot say if we've seen this artifact or not, but perhaps we can help you. We do have our own struggles here. Kind of look to the rest of the party and just see what they think.
It sounds like we might have more refugees. I'm a refugee.
Sounds like we may need to pick up on clearing those ruins. Since I seem to recall the grove is at a comfortable capacity as it.
What ruins do you mean? The Manticore says. In the place we were just at, the city of the dead.
Well, yes.
Yeah, it is only a day's journey or so from the grove. And this fool almost found it.
Almost fell in it.
To answer your question, just in case anybody didn't see it, you're very close to the grove. Basically, you think you're, within an hour. Y'all could see his surface thought also kind of showed Zorn being lost for a while, maybe a couple days, trying to find exactly where the grove was. He was having troubles.
Okay, and up in the tree, not that anybody necessarily can see her, Necra is actually looking for the other people they're supposed to be watching, the lookouts and all that.
So you would think, maybe not so close, that they are, since the second, you had two pieces of magic that were being used. The first level is no longer there, and the second has been changed. So Grimp says that they haven't, had a lot of people on the edge of the Grove's territory of late. They've kind of pulled back some, so it's easier to manage. Since some of the magics aren't protecting as much, they're not quite certain. They haven't had any issues. They're grateful in the last 7 days. So they have seen a winter wolf every once in a while.
All right. And then also is like, okay. Here, Foxy, Foxy, Foxy. Here, Fox.
All right. So you have to, the fox won't travel outside of the grove. Actually, you have to, get to the grove. So when you get to the grove itself, you don't perceive that there's anybody around on the outskirts of the grove's territory. You can tell that you're in the grove because of the difference in the trees and the grove trees, and also the wardens can feel the connection back to the tree. There is a kind of motion, a shaking of the leaves of the grove trees as the wardens pass into the grove itself, almost a greeting. Immediately, the wardens can feel the strength of the tree is much stronger than it was before. Then you get a mental image of the tree that has grown in size and stature, has put leaves and limbs out where it had none before. It has grown great in its power since last you've seen and felt it. That power rushes into you, kind of a feedback of it, and you feel refreshed, as if you've taken a long rest, as you re-enter into the grove. The rest of you are, not exhausted, but if the morning is a long morning, and if you have to put forth any great effort, you may become exhausted. Well, it doesn't take long for you to, take a rest or anything, most of you. So.
Got a bunch of meditating elves here.
Yep. So, the Manicore, says, well, are we going to wake up anybody? Or, well, I do want to see the little one. I might wait till the sun comes up, though.
I grab...
What's our first move there? Tell him, what's our first move?
I grab the...
Antra is off the cart and going straight to the tree.
Yeah. I grab the drums, the drum I made. I hand it to Necra, and I show her a thing to beat, a rhythm to beat out. And I grab my bagpipes, and we just wake up the whole grove.
Oh, okay.
Tell him,
It wasn't my idea,
before you
but
do that,
that's fine.
Hey, hold on for a second,
Yep,
Kellum.
yep, I'm holding on.
Banthor did want to stop you.
Give it a second. It's pausing.
Yeah, it does take a second, I know. All right.
Before you start that up, may I see your bagpipes for a second?
Okay. Kellum hands them over, and hands go to his weapons.
And it's all right. I find the patch, and I put my hand over it and cast mending over it. To it's completely good as new. I'm gonna hand it back. It was a good patch job, but it's not perfect. So I figured this would last a little bit longer. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay for an amateur, but let me fix this real quick.
Kellum
Um,
says thank you, and he gives a short bow that before he begins blowing on them again.
Hold on. Does anybody else try to stop him?
I'll try to go on.
I'm just asking it, not that you have to. I'm just before you do it. I'm just does anybody else try to stop him? So. All right, go for it.
All right. Come on, there we go.
So Ashura goes to the tree. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Anybody else go to the tree?
Assuming that that's where she's thinking Serafina is going to be at.
Okay.
So she's going straight for the tree.
I'm gonna follow, but just telepathy to Kellum. Keep an eye on Zorn.
Yep.
And
Um,
I'm watching for any sparkly thing come flying at us.
Okay. Where are you going to be about, Necra?
Above and behind,
With
as
the
much
drums.
as the yeah.
playing the drums in a tree.
Well, presumably yes. Just granted, we're in town now, right?
Well, I guess that's basically, what you're, when you get to town, unless, you're going to wake up the neighborhood and such.
Yep. So never mind on the tree because there isn't much.
Gotcha.
That isn't
So you were
somebody's
gonna call forth the fox beforehand. Was there anything that you?
No, I was basically expecting it, so trying to get it to just go find someone else more interesting.
Okay, gotcha. So, sensing the urgency of the troop, and recognizing that you wish to get to the village and prepare it for the great story that you are to reveal, your triumphant quest. You could feel the presence of the tree as you get closer to the village, that it's yearning for a story to hear and such. It really wants to envision in its mind, the things that you went through. He got glimpses and such, but he really wants the story. Kellum, Banthor, and of course Marshall can feel this. So right as you get to the village, and you're getting prepared to play the bagpipes, you get that sense, that the tree really wants to hear a story of your what you've done and such. Not that y'all have to stop doing what you're doing or anything like that. It's just a feeling that you get when you get into the grove itself.
Okay.
And as you're getting closer to the tree, you're like, oh, it wants to hear the story and such. Okay. And the way is made clear for you, and you get to the village. Kellum pulls out his bagpipes. Banthor does the mending, and you wake up the village with your glorious bagpiping. Glorious bagpiping.
It is the best.
It's the best. He's proudly standing before the tree. Or are you at the edge of the village, or you get to the village? You get to the edge of the village, start your procession, and end at the tree, I guess. Or
Well, we're splitting up. So Ashura and Banthor will go to the tree to get Cerebella, while Necra and Kellum will kind of go to somewhere, still fairly central, but not the tree, because we don't want these two conversations happening in too close a proximity to each other.
Okay. So there's a central area where people come to eat, and, things like that, and share time, during the day, or do celebrations that are not directly, related to the tree, or things like that. Maybe not celebrations, but just daily activity.
Yeah.
So that would be, not exactly a town center or anything like that, but just, a place where people come and mingle during daily activity. So nothing special really happens there. But, that's where people, do gather. And it has enough space for, the people to kind of crowd in and such. So you go there. It's slightly off from where the tree is, more in the residential area anyhow. So it's going to be where people are more likely to be, and such. So central location to really wake up, everybody at, 4 o'clock, and, right before they're really going to start waking up. There's some critters out there, but yeah, this is that hour, and such. And Banthor and Mashura give a nod as they hop off the cart and head over to the tree. Zorn, the Manicore, kind of snuggles up to you, not in a nice, friendly way, but just kind of gives you a shoulder and moves you in the right direction, to follow the bagpipes. The cursed summoner. It's grating to your teeth, like it makes your teeth almost hurt. Hearing this and such. You're sure that some dragon or, evil spirit at some point is going to come and just swallow Kellum, or it's going to be summoned by Kellum, and such. He's calling forth a demon of immense power with these bagpipes. So you're kind of like just waiting for the other shoe to drop, basically. How long do you wish to play the bagpipes? So people are starting to come out and form up around you, and like, what's all this noise? What's this racket? And people are coming out. Actually.
I will wait until I feel like the majority of everybody's out there, at least the adults, the ones that would help to make decisions.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see.
I've turned off the loop, so when it gets to the end of the track this time, it'll stop.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm having problems thinking.
Plot twist, it's on an hour loop.
2 seconds left on it.
That's funny. I love it.
Sorry, I had to mute it after like 30 seconds.
Some people really can't handle it. Yeah.
I love bagpipes and drums.
I don't have a problem with bagpipes or drums or anything. It's hearing it. It's trying to hear separate the voices and the music.
And I'm presuming Maxie has decided to try and perch or has made herself visible at some point during this.
Yeah, we could say that definitely that yeah, she has heard the bagpipes, the wailing, and is well. Actually, it does take Maxie a while to get out of bed. So even though she knows it's you, she's like, "Really? Oh man, right now?" She has to convince herself to get up. So she might wait a moment before she actually shows.
Hmm.
She
That
puts
being
her
said,
small
you
pillow over her head.
yeah,
Like
she's
5
like,
more
no,
minutes.
no, no, Necro, right now. Oh my God, Necro. You can just hear it, you know. So, Necro, you could just, imagining her just kicking her feet, in bed and such. So, Gorman and Faerun have shown up as well as Grimp's son and his family. Some of the hunters have arrived. Westrom is here. He's very much on guard right now. Stiff. Some of the people you've noticed of more affluent, people in the village, as well as a lot of the centaurs, which make up a large part of the populace as well, have been awoken and come over. So at least half the village is here. These are not all the people, but these are the people of note. And then the people, Necra, Kellum, Zorn, Grimp, and Marsho the Minotaur. Max will show up eventually, and other people will bleed in as time proceeds. Banthor, Ashura, you are going to the tree. So we know that Karyan has been encased in the tree, in the roots, and she is near the door that goes into the tree. So you see her in a torpor-like state, encased in the roots of the tree. But with her head, and some of her torso out. You see a leg and a foot, but her hands and her mouth have been properly bound and gagged. You you enter into the tree, and it is brightly lit. You enter into the trophy room as it was before. Jade is asleep, kind of like in a little nook, and her feet are kind of like entwined in vines and root that is connected to the tree, but the rest of her is not. She is kind of circled around like a cat would be, lying down, in her little nook. Let me get the picture. I didn't have that ready. My apologies, but I know where it's at. Well, it's one of the new ones. Oh, there we go. On Discord, I think I put it in the right place. Yeah, Into the Unknown. Okay, cool. They are two large eggs, like a normal egg-looking white shell, about the size of an ostrich egg, and a little manticore cub, which has tinted green fur, is curled around these eggs and kind of sleeping with Jade in the corner.
Any sign
on
of
the trophy
Cerebellum?
on the trophy room as well, you see a couple additions. You see that a bit of a nursery area has been a trophy has been placed upon a shelf, as well as a looks like an altar of sorts. You can see incense and candles. As a place of peace and tranquility, where you come to get rid of your woes, your fears, and receive calm. Basically, if you have an emotional ailment and some physical ailments, you can come and be healed of these conditions. Like if you're frightened or you become ill, basically it's like a lesser restoration.
Mhm.
So you come and burn incense and or a candle and spend an hour and leave some sort of offering. Then it gives a lesser restoration. And you can see that there's a shelf that was not there before that is empty, signifying that the tree is grown in strength. In the workshop, you can tell that the light is on and somebody is upstairs in the workshop. What would the two of you, Banthor and Ashura, like to do?
Going to quietly, to not disturb those two, go up to the to the
Ashra's
workshop.
already up the stairs.
All right.
Should she realize who was up there, she's up the stairs to the
Okay.
workshop.
The tree, remains a low glow, not a bright or anything. Sensing your movements going up the stairs. You did notice that it was starting to set up a table and some chairs. But as you start to make your way up the stairs, it just stops that process and pulls it back into itself, giving you a little bit of light to go up the stairs. You see a light underneath the door and approach it. Do you just go on in, or what would you like to do?
She's about to burst in, but she takes a moment. Because right now her mind's like, there's a lot of things going through her mind right now. It's like, hold on. So she takes a moment. She waits for Banthor to get upstairs with her.
Okay. In the distance, like muffled, you can hear the bagpipes off in the distance, but it's only because you really know that it's happening can you really hear it. You're like, oh, okay, that's I hear the bagpipes in the distance and such.
Yeah.
So you could tell that Kellum has yet to stop playing the bagpipes.
Mhm. And as soon as like she, as soon as she can tell like Banthor's at her back, she she opens up the door and opens it up calmly, doesn't fling it open like she was about to do. Opens the door up, steps
Okay.
inside.
It seems that Sarabella has crafted a bed, basically, and she is sleeping in the bed.
Oh, she tried to turn our workshop into her bed.
It's nothing fancy or anything like that. More of a cot, than a bed or anything. So.
It's more of taking liberties again without consulting anybody.
It appears that she doesn't recognize that you're there. She's sleeping.
Okay.
Vosher in a hushed tone. Speaking of,
she's not
consulting
meditating.
anyone.
She's not meditating. You can tell Ashra that she's actually sleeping.
Actually sleeping. Okay. Sorry, what was that, Banthor?
I believe this amulet we found will help obscure the tree. Should we go ahead and just give this to the tree?
I think we need to hold off on that.
You see two tentacles, as you mentioned that, two tentacles come down and kind of like make a little hand. Tentacles, excuse me, vines, not tentacles. Tendrils of vine, excuse me, come down and make a hand. I'll take that.
A tangle tree.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Put a finger up, just 1 second.
It retreats back, respectively. Just okay,
Yeah, she's gonna. Seems like just as quietly. We need to hold off on that until we know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
She's gonna clear her throat and Sarabella.
Her eyes pop open immediately upon hearing her name, and she sits up. Oh, wow! Greetings, adventurers, wardens. She's not exactly taken back, but surprised that you're here and such. She gets up and you can tell that she's still in her like normal garb or anything. She didn't change to go to bed, shall we say. She didn't put a nightgown on or anything like that. She rises herself out of the bed purposely, not hurriedly, showing some decorum, basically. You feel not hopping out of bed, basically. And as she rises, she'll pat herself down, get the wrinkles out and such. I sometimes work late and find it's easier just to fall asleep here than to go all the way back to the house. It's also nice to rest in the tree. It's comforting. It's safe.
Sarabella, you have some explaining to do.
I know there's a lot of things. Have you felt the power of the tree? It's glorious.
Sarabella, explain to me why Manticore came to us, telling us that it had no choice to become a warden.
She has a snap, kind of a little bit as she, the Jade said that the Manticore was almost beyond saving. I suggested that we make it into another wolf-like creature, like the Timber Wolf. The Timber Manticore. That would have been powerful, wouldn't it? And it had another ally to help us.
What
Also
gave you?
devoid of sentience.
Well, I mean, it's a Manticore. I mean, it could have raised up against us. They are vicious creatures, not unlike the winter wolves that you encountered.
The Manticore was not immediately aggressive to us.
And what gave you the authority to suggest such a thing?
I'm a warden, just as you, Banthor, and Kellum, and now
And
this
yet-
Manticore.
And yet you gave no message, no word to the other wardens about this. You instead decided unilaterally.
Well, I'm the one that was left behind. I'm the one that has to stay here. So
Do we or
I
do
was
we
given
not have message sending stones? Not once did you send a message that said a manticore was here, that the village was in trouble.
Well, we took care of the situation. We weren't in trouble.
You, again, took it upon yourself. Why is it that we heard from someone else that you are trying to gather more notoriety around the village? Why do we hear that you are trying to call yourself a priestess?
That's what other people might have been calling me. We are now worshiping the tree, since we have no gods. Let us worship what is strong, and it has given me great power, unlike the priest of old.
Oh, and so you have self-appointed yourself as the voice of the tree?
We commune. I listen to it when I sleep.
It communes with all wardens, not just you. That does not put you above any of us.
Oh, like the druids. I just heard what the tree was saying, and
what? And so are you telling me that the tree itself was telling you to start speaking for it, to become its mouthpiece? You and solely you? Is that what you're telling me? If I was to go and wake up Jade, is that what she would confirm?
well, Jade hears the tree
Because
as well.
I know Jade hears the tree as well. Jade hears and understands the tree more than you do, more than any of the wardens. She is more in tune to it than you are.
The room becomes a little dark, not physically, but you can feel from Sarabella that she is put off by what you're trying to say. That it has angered her.
Like as the room goes dark, like Ashura's eyes start to glow, that icy blue glow. Like she is not backing down.
Gotcha. And like I said, it's not it's not the lights dimming. It's basically she has become dark. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. No, I get it. Like she's starting to give off like this dark aura herself.
Right. Yeah.
And again, Ashura is matching that with the light from herself.
All right.
I'm gonna step in as things get heavy and just be like, Sarabella, you need to understand that we are servants of the tree. We hold no authority on, no single authority on what happens with the tree, nor what happens to our village. We are here to strengthen the tree, yes, which you have very clearly done, but these decisions need to be addressed between all of the wardens. Even if you're the only one here looking after the tree, we need to be informed in some manner, which is what the sending stones were for. I understand your heart is in the right place, but it was a poor decision.
And see, this is why I made these decisions, because you would corrupt my decisions.
Corrupt? Sarabella, do you hear yourself right now? What has happened to you? This is not
When
you.
you, when you have the multiple voices of everyone trying to say things, it just muddles and corrupts the decision that needs to be made.
Multiple voices. Sarabella. And Ashura is going to detect thoughts. Like she's going right into her head.
Okay. What are... I need to look. Let's see. Detect thoughts. Components are verbal, somatic, and a copper piece. Okay. So do you have a focus or something?
Yeah, she has focus.
All right. And then what is the focus, and how does the focus actually operate? Like, what do you...
The focus is just in place of the material components. So, but the
Okay.
focus can be anything, pretty much.
Got it. Okay.
Her focus is a necklace that is around her neck.
Okay, and that's fine. So you still have to do the verbal and somatic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which she does, because she's hearing this mumble jumble, and she starts moving her hands, and she points towards her, because she's like voices muddled, so she's trying to see like what's going on.
1 second. Okay. She counterspells.
Oh, okay.
And she looks at you with disdain as she counterspells. She says, "What are you trying to do? Do you not believe me? What spell was that?"
No, I don't believe you, Sarabella. That was a spell that was going to see what is going on in your head. Because certainly something is influencing you. This is not you. You've been different ever since your father died.
A bit of rage goes across her face. She's unable to contain herself. Well, she has been, not stonewalling or anything, but just calm and such. You can see the rage, of that when you're talking about, her father being gone. And the fact that you're trying to that you don't believe her has clearly affected her. She's looking at you with disdain, and looking at Banthor, she looks hurt and says, "We're wardens. You should believe me. I mean, what do you not believe? I do this for the tree, for the power, and see now you come and like I said, you are corrupting the
Sarabella,
peace."
did you just hear what you said? You do this for the power?
Well, of
What-
course. My
Why would
mother
you-
was powerful, and she was able to defeat the demon. My father, he speaks and knows people, but he was not powerful. It should have been him that died, not my mother. Mother? She was more of a leader and a warrior than he was.
Do you think it's power?
He had no power. But my mother, she had power. And I will have power like my mother, and I will defend us if that needs to do that. And you are muddling and corrupting my thoughts.
Your father may not have had power, and she does air quotes, but he had respect. And that is far more than anyone can ever get with power.
Well, I'll show you my power. Let us go and talk to the council. Let us do what must be done. You must tell your story. As the customs, you will be given your renown, and then you can then discuss your thoughts. And you will see my power.
Before
Yeah.
we do,
Go ahead.
before we do, Sarabella, may I cast a spell of detect magic?
Yes, you may.
I don't want to start flinging spells around after what just happened. So I just wanted to make sure you were okay with that. And knowing that there's a bit of a time crunch here, I'm not going to ritual cast. I'm just going to straight cast it, burn a slot.
Okay.
So yeah, I cast detect magic, and I am looking. I'm just looking around the tree. Specifically, I'm thinking. I know. Her name escapes me. The Shadow Druid person.
The one that's being tied up right now by the tree.
Yeah. I want to see if there's any ick being spread around the tree and or Sarabella. If there's any kind of negative influence there.
Somebody just sent a message. I didn't exactly see what it said. Where is it? Let's see. Oh. Gotcha. All right, cool. All right. I didn't feel that. Okay. Message. Okay. All right. So looking for that specifically, that presence from Faryan, and the spirit of Faryan, and the spirit of corruption that she was following. You do see a sense of that being introduced into the root system by her presence. Into the tree, and also you can sense that same kind of vibe coming off of the pot that Sarabella has set up.
The cot?
The
The
cot.
Top.
Her bed. Her bed.
I thought, yeah, okay. I thought you said pot. And so I was like, what? She had a pot on? And I was like,
Well,
oh,
there is something in the kettle, brewing and such. So I should have mentioned that earlier.
So I
They
knew
just
we
saying
should have killed that woman.
there's dark energy coming from. God damn it, man! Ooh, excuse my language. Ooh.
Hmm.
I hate to say I told you so, but yeah.
Ah,
Mm.
I said,
Alright,
don't kill her.
alright. We were trying to be better. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna speak to both Sarabella and Ashra and be like, Sarabella, you mentioned me corrupting your choices, and then I point over to our captive there and say, "There is your source of corruption. I can see it snaking through the root, poisoning the tree, trying to misshape it and bend it to their will, bend your will to their will. We need to do something about this very soon, if not now."
Sarabella, I apologize, but I just know I've seen you. I've been around you before. I know this is not you. I know you've been going through a lot, and therefore, I don't believe you've had the type of chance to cope with things that have been going on, and a lot of things have been thrust upon you. I want to be here for you, Sarabella. This isn't you. Please, just listen to us.
What do you wish to do?
Benzor, you say there is a corruption. We need to get rid of this corruption before it affects anything else. Sarabella, would you allow me to cast a spell upon you? I would need to lay hands upon you. It will
What
not
spell
hurt.
do you?
And it's basically identify. It's the identify spell. And
So
one,
how do you
one,
use that? Do you use it through the glasses?
uh, identify would be. Oh, what's letting me use it? What are you asking?
Yes.
It's the hair wrap. Remember.
Yeah. Basically, gotcha.
Wait. Sorry about this spell. This magic will let me see if anything has corrupted you, if anything is negatively influencing you, and if so, we can purge it out of you.
There's nothing to purge out of me. I am the daughter. I am the princess guardian. I don't understand what you're saying,
You are the daughter. You are the daughter
Astra.
of one. You are the daughter of one of the leaders, one of the respected leaders who was murdered. Murdered because foul corruption, because of those who wanted to taint the grove. They're trying to do the same to you. He couldn't be swayed, and they are trying to sway you. If you're correct and there's nothing wrong, then you shouldn't have a problem with me doing it, right?
Save your spells for when we get in front of the council. That way you can show them all.
Wait, can I do an insight? Why is she? Because she's eager to get in front of the council. I'm trying to. Can I do an insight on that?
All right.
Alright, let's see. I'll get to my character sheet. Six motive.
$21.
21. Okay. So she's mentioned earlier that's where her power is, basically.
So
Is-
she's. Does she mean that, like, that's where her power is in physically, or like the people? That's her power. Like
So
that's
once
what I'm trying to. Because my thing.
She
because
doesn't.
Austria-
I guess she feels like she can defeat you when she gets in front of the council. That would be what.
So it's more like displaying her power. Like she's trying to get like basically she and I and stuff like that are trying to get a sense of like, do I want her? Am I trying to stop her from getting out because she's trying to get to something specific, or she's trying to get in front of the crowd and then play victim?
Yeah. You don't really can't get a detailed read, but you can tell that basically, that's the trap that she wants to spring. Whatever that is, it's in front of them. So,
Because it's the council specifically, she keeps saying.
yeah. Whatever trap that is, whether she's going down the pitiful road or trying to sway them or has something, block up her sleeve. So you don't know what it is, but you know that it's there. Well, it's not a trap. If you know it's a trap, then it's a face-off.
Right. And she, so Ashra gives a look at Banthor and just gonna give like a shake of her head, like we can't, kind of look like we can't let her get around people.
I nod.
Her ears kind of perk up, and she's like, "Is that Callum's bagpipes?"
Yes, it is. Callum, one of the wardens, is right now discussing things with the people about how the wardens are servants to the tree, not the voice of the tree, and therefore will be not holding any political standing in the grove, to say in the grounds.
This is what I mean by corruption. You're trying to take my power away.
Sarabella, you have no power here. This is what you're not understanding. This gift the tree gives you is to help it thrive, not to boost yourself, not to make yourself some authority figure.
With a crackle of energy, she shouts that she's just doing this for the tree, for power, to be safe. And you're trying to stop me.
Jump in front of Ashura.
If we must stop you, then we will.
When her voice, picks up like this, basically, and, she's shouting with this, power of electricity in her voice, you've seen her use like a cloud that basically, can strike out with electric lightning bolts. She's done that before in combat. So a little bit of a sense of that kind of crawls back in your mind as, she says these words to you. The lights in the tree, like, illuminate. Like, okay, daylight, okay, and the door opens, if you shut it. The door opens to the trophy room that goes downstairs. And you can see the light shining bright in there as well. And a Banthor and Kellum and the Manticore all feel the tree awaken, like its consciousness, like, what? More not like laugh, but more like when you fall out of bed or like,
Right.
doze off or something, and that sense of you falling and it wakes you up real quick, or something, and you catch yourself. It's kind of like you
Right.
get that jerk. From the tree, basically, like, oh, whoa, like, and the reason it's so jarring is because it's more like the tree is more falling from one consciousness to another consciousness. As they call it falling asleep because your consciousness falls into your subconscious, they say, and such, which causes that jerk or whatever. So like that, you feel like a shift in consciousness as the tree kind of wakes up suddenly from a jolt of surprise. That feeling is quickly vanishes, and that presence of consciousness isn't there anymore. But for a moment, you felt a greater presence from the tree itself, but it is no longer there. It was just that moment of blam. This is the moment that you stop playing the bagpipes because you're jolted as well, Kellum. And Banthor, you feel Kellum there for that moment. He has stopped playing the bagpipes. And in that moment, Kellum, you feel Banthor stand stand in front of Ashura, in between Cerebella. You can tell that there is a conflict in the tree. And I'm going to stop right there.
Perfect.
So, I mean, I'd stopped playing bagpipes earlier when most
You
of the
were
people were
walking
outside.
up and moving. They had already approached the tree, gone into the tree, and did their thing. And as you were walking up and so forth, this is when, if we want, we can have some more before that happens, if you'd like.
Well, because we
I just
had
thought-
agreed, and I thought we made it clear that we'd planned this so that we'd be having the conversations at the exact same time.
Okay, and that's then we'll do that. Okay, so at some point near the end of your conversation with the people, you get that feeling from Sarah, from the tree.
Yeah.
So we'll put that near the end of it and such.
Okay.
So I don't mind doing that at all. So
All right.
Wow.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry that I took up most of the time with the tree and the other party, but we'll do that the next time that we meet. We'll flip the coin and we'll go over to you guys.
Yeah.
And,
All right. That should be
I
the
read.
29th.
Let me look at this calendar
Yeah,
thing
but-
here.
Unless there's
But let's-
holiday stuff.
Yeah, let's make sure we
so
get that.
there's- I do have holiday stuff. The 21st is going to be a no-go for me. The 19th is a half day for my son, and my wife didn't know that we were getting the 19th and the 20th as a half day. We were going to leave on the 20th, but he threw out, last night, it's the half day on Thursday. We may just leave then. So I haven't got, that was just last night, so I haven't got a lockdown on that. So I know that we're going to be leaving the 20th and coming back like the 26th or 7th. So the 29th should be good for me then. Okay, yeah, all right. So I'm going to put that on there. So we'll put the 29th.
29th, good.
Yeah, it looks good so far. So because like I said, we're going to be back on the 26th or 7th. Or at least
Thursday
headed
or
back.
Friday.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday. So that the 26th is definitely out for Thursday game. So the 19th may be out. So
All right, and it's not like we haven't taken it like these 2 weeks off before.
Yeah.
Holiday.
All right. So for right now, we know 29th, but everything else is kind of up in the air for the moment.
Yeah, the 19th is.
Well, the 19th is a maybe, but a not for sure.
So it's up in the air.
And,
yeah. The 21st, I'm definitely not going to be able to make that.
Yeah, that one's
So,
out.
right.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know what y'all want to do. If it, because you will have the two of you guys. So, I don't know if y'all want to do some maintenance and get into the next or whatever. Y'all can make that decision.
Yeah,
I don't
figure
mind.
that out this
If you want to take it off, you can.
Maybe they do some shenanigans without you.
You could do settlements. You could do settlements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
if you go to
Want mods and stuff too. So
if you head off to one of the settlements, definitely, I would do a lot of trading. Just be busy doing that.
I mean building your own settlement, kind of like the Bastion system.
Bastions. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But it's called settlements in Fallout. So
Okay, all right.
They're settlements.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Hmm.
all right.
So,
Okay, this was